For those of you who are less familiar with me, my name is Monia. I am a teacher, seer, and mentor for grounded mystics. I am known for my teachings in masculine and feminine integration, for my pristine energetic work, as well as rare to find embodied wisdom. Today, I am going to be talking about the brutal reality of being the true feminine. Whew. Let's just let it sit for a minute. Yeah. If you happen to be catching this on the replay, make sure to let me know that you're here by putting replay in the comments. I love to see your faces. I love to know that you've been spending time with me, that you're receiving from my teaching transmission. So make sure to comment away and interact with me and engage. If you happen to be catching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. And if you are not already subscribed to my newsletter, I highly recommend it. This month, I'm going to be putting out an edition that is about seers whose sight penetrates through illusion. And each month's edition, it's not just a written transmission, it's also included with a video teaching transmission, and these are deep. So really, to be subscribed to my newsletter is to enroll into a higher consciousness course that is ongoing and is freely gifted to you. There is absolutely a scaffolding inside of these teachings, so make sure that you're committed. Make sure that you're showing up and you are absorbing each monthly newsletter and what is included inside of it, because it is going to grow and you are going to grow with it as long as you commit into it. If you need the link for that, I have my link in my bio. You can also message me. It's also in the description if you're catching this on YouTube. Okay, so let's drop in to this transmission today. The brutal reality of being the true feminine. Oh my gosh, am I living this every day? You know, there's this space that we like to believe where if we continue to do this work, if we continue to heal, we transform, we become more embodied, we occupy our power, we speak our truth, that there's going to be some kind of arrival, right? Like so many of us here are new paradigm creators. We are committed into creating and anchoring a new paradigm. And the idea of that is oftentimes backed by our hope and our optimism for this arrival, like an arrival for humanity, an arrival for the collective. Okay, we're going to be living in truth. We're not going to be so traumatized and prioritizing our conditioning. We're not going to be interacting relationally through distortion. Instead, we're going to heal and we're going to be a whole and healthy humanity. Well, the truth is right now, we're not a whole and healthy and healed humanity. The vast majority of humanity is programmed. It's very deeply attached to the distortions, the conditioning that it's holding. And so when you are on the leading edge, and that's who I work with magical, mystical humans on the leading edge of evolution that are deeply committed into creating a new paradigm. So if you're one of those humans, this means that you are here to bring truth into a collective kind of agreed illusion. And you are here to be the new thing while the old thing is still here. And that's a really hard thing to do. And that's a really, really hard thing to be. You're going to see and you're going to know in places where others do not see and they do not know. So this arrival that I'm talking about in our own personal process, and I love using myself as an example. I teach from embodiment, which means I also utilize myself as an example to model. There were hopes inside of me like, okay, if I just do all this work and I'm healing and I'm letting life lead me and like I'm deeply devotional, which I'm going to be no matter what, by the way. if all of that happens, there's going to be an arrival, and like I'm going to arrive into my own personal Mecca where like my blueprint is so fully lived and expressed, and all of the things that are required for that are going to arrive. And I love that. I love being hopeful and optimistic. I'm an optimist. I'm also a realist. And if you've noticed through my content recently, I've been in an existential, a deep, ooh, this is so deep, existential space. And part of this existential space is actually landing so deeply into grounded reality with all of the ability to see and know that I have, and being in the mix of all of that to include the resistance energy. This is a big part of this teaching today. The resistance energy that pursues someone who sees and knows and is here to create a new paradigm, who is here to ultimately set people free, to liberate them, to collapse the distortion in the conditioning, also the broke ass architecture, and repairing it. That's what I call it. That's what I call it. I also do high level energetic architecture work. It's all connected. So I've been hearing lately inside of myself, I've arrived. I have arrived. I have arrived. And I know I've arrived. I have arrived, y'all. I am here. I am the true feminine incarnate. I am embodied. I am wise. I know the way out of this. I hold the keys, the codes, and it's not an ether. It's at ground. I'm an anchor. I have arrived. And in that arrival, it wasn't like, oh, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I'm not here to crush dreams, y'all. Keep the hope alive. I'm just here to be real with you. And I work with those who are on the leading edge. And so we can't avoid what is true and what we end up walking through as we more deeply arrive into truth in a collective held illusion and distortions that hold resistance energy that is going to push against you every chance it gets, because to try to take you out is its survival. To try to keep, for example, women not understanding the actual role and capacity of their womb so that the old paradigm can feast off it, because that's the only way that it survives. To keep people not seeing is how an old paradigm survives. Someone like me who sees and speaks it to you and speaks it to you directly. Ooh, she's a danger. She's a danger, right? So this is what I mean by the brutal truth of being the true feminine. Let's layer this in. When you're a woman who is here and really you get to this level of embodiment, integration of the true feminine, and it's not an ether, it's here on ground. When we are in ether, there's levity, there's lightness. You can create so much in ether and it's easy, there's fluidity. But the more you bring that down into density, and I'm not villainizing density. Density is really amazing. Material creation is really amazing. But there's also the debris that's inside of the density. And the more you bring down truth, the more you bring down what is pure and what is true, the resistance energy, so the distortion, brings through resistance that pushes against what it is that you are, what it is that you're being, and what it is that you are anchoring. And it comes at you hard. In the work that I do with high caliber mystical women, very hearted women, many have priestess lifetimes in our oracles. I see this all of the time. All of the time. She has no one side by side her riding this ride. There are those that are hunting her, stalking her, trying to feast off her, trying to take her down through housing situations, law, parent stuff, relational things, professional things, monetary things, like literally in every direction. What'll happen is distortion's like, I'm going to try to utilize the material world to take you down. And what she's trying to do is just be exactly what she is meant to be in truth. The more radiance a woman has, the more yummy she looks. The more there are those who attempt to hunt her, to feed upon her, to predate, to manipulate her. This is just what it is. I work with so many women that go through this. And we need to be willing to validate that this is happening. So another layer here. A huge missing component is the masculine. I say, in my opinion, the most difficult thing you could possibly be incarnate in this world is the true feminine. Because we have an epidemic of the missing masculine. So this means that radiant women that are embodying the true feminine are not being held by the masculine in the way that she is meant to be held. She is not being protected in the way that she's meant to be protected. She's not being poured into in the ways that she's meant to be poured into. Let's layer it in again. So what do we see? What do we see collectively? And even, let's say, in more conscious communities, talking about the feminine. What is the feminine? Well, a lot of these teachings will say, oh, she's soft, like a flower petal. There's a lot of encouraging her to be soft and to be open and to be supple. Why? Well, because if the feminine doesn't understand what she's actually here for, and she is a radiant woman, and then she's being taught in all of these different kinds of ways that she's supposed to be soft and open and available, then her radiance, her connection to the original mother, the original frequencies of all of creation and all that that creates, to include all of the abundance, gets misdirected and sifted into an old paradigm, which is the patriarchal matrix. And I can tell you right now, being the true feminine necessitates a woman to integrate so much the true masculine within her, especially in a collective where men and the true masculine is missing. It's like asking a woman to go lay in the middle of a field surrounded by a bunch of people naked and go be open and be supple and be soft. It's going to be great. This is how you're feminine. We are living amongst a feeding, extractive, distorted collective. So when we say to a woman, you're not attracting a man because you're not soft, you know what we're outright denying? The masculine's responsibility for the external environment. Internal, base code feminine. External, base code masculine. So when we encourage women to be soft and open, but we're not willing to look at the systemic issues that are ongoing, that are current, that are embedded into literally our human bodies are imprinted with these patriarchal imprints until we heal them. Those women that you are saying need to be open and soft are the same women that are coexisting in a collective that is attempting to feast from her, to violate her, to harm her, to predate on her. And when you're the true feminine, you're also holding the sacred code. So you've got a whole other terrain of responsibility relative to what it is that you are and what it is that you protect, what it is that you covet, what it is that you uphold and behold. The solution is not for women to soften. The solution is for them to be provided environments that allow their feminine softening, where her energy is not misdirected into a system that harms her. We need to be willing to be with this in a way that is real and true. Like, how much of the collective is gaslighting itself that even the things that I'm saying right now, people will debate. Like, this ain't up for debate, y'all. I'm an oracle. You're here to receive the medicine or not. It's not up for debate. This is. I want to read a couple posts that I made with some interaction from other people, and I'm going to go deeper into it. So this is what I infrequently get to do here. Whereas in TIE, my membership group, I do it all the time. I go deeper. I can't in text. You can't know what is here, what is real and true and embodied, and what you can receive without hearing me and seeing me and being in shared space with me, like stepping into transformational work with me. So you get this itty bit on social media, especially when it comes to text. So I like to go deeper, and that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to connect this all. I wrote a post saying, don't know who needs to hear this, but babe, he's stealing years off your life. Your radiance isn't up for sale. I left a 10-year relationship and engagement with a narcissist 13 years ago and immediately started aging in reverse. Staying is never the solution. Don't walk, run. We need to be validating that. Again, I say it's so ridiculous to me that I have to say this so much. There is a collective gap in consciousness between the masculine and the feminine. When you offer a gender entitlement, it of course is going to move regressively. It's not going to develop. There's going to be stagnation. So where the masculine has been offered entitlement, where he's just freely given things like authority that he hasn't earned, we watch the collective masculine go like this or not go like this, and the feminine's like this. Here she is in wait. I'm just seeing it all. I'm pointing to your conditioning. I'm saying, hey, you can't meet me. She's out here in the dating pool, the true feminine, getting, hey, what's up messages. The gap is massive. And the ones that would know how massive the gap is, the true feminine. The one that is in the leading edge of the leading edge knows exactly how massive that gap actually is and can see it. When you're inside of it, you can't see it. But when you're here, you see all of it. So when I'm talking about he's stealing years off of your life, this is because there is a feasting frenzy that is happening due to massive collective fragmentation, which is disconnection, which means that you need a source to source from. And women that embody the true feminine are the closest it gets in a human body to the original source, the original womb. This is why we're hunted. This is why people pursue us to feast off us. This is why our love ends up meeting the furthest spectrum of anti-love and the most highly intelligent forms of predation. Again, the brutal reality of being the true feminine. So this conversation had continued with someone who had commented on that post and said, "Sprint, never settle for anything or anyone less than you deserve." And this was my reply. I want to validate. That's more difficult for women. Women are expected to take less than they deserve, not just in love, but in essentially all realms of life, because that is what patriarchy is. This is also to acknowledge the gap in collective consciousness between the masculine and the feminine. It's all connected. Entitlement stunts growth. Many quality women are in wait, not because they want to be, but because men equal to her caliber are next to non-existent. I know this because I am one of those women. This thing I'm pointing to supports perpetration. Perpetrators utilize all of this to their advantage to prey on women. Again, it's all connected. This was a man that had commented this, and in all like heartedness, he commented what he did. And I'm like, okay, well, we need to go a little bit deeper here, because if you're not acknowledging that there is a collective gap between the masculine and the feminine, it is far easier to be like, don't take anything you don't deserve. Okay, but women are leading collective evolution. Women aren't looking for a man that supersedes them. For me, I don't believe that that exists. I don't think that that is here. If it is, send him my way. I'm into it. I do not think that that exists. Most women, what they are desiring is simply a man that can be near enough to her. And then she initiates him. And then he starts being nearer and nearer to her. And at some point, there becomes a side by side. So for most women, they're going to be taking less than they deserve from the jump, because women are leading collective evolution. Do you see what I'm saying? Words are just words. Don't take less than you deserve. Those are just words. Women are leading. They lead through the unseen. They're masters of the unknown. A new paradigm is built off of the unknown. So again, where these teachings that really point to femininity as being soft and open and submissive, and then being submissive to a man leading, it's backed by patriarchy, babe. Those aren't true masculine and feminine teachings. How do I know that? Because I bring through the true masculine and feminine teachings. Again, I say, when you know what it is, you know what it isn't. Until we are willing to actually validate what is the true feminine, we're going to be missing the mark over and over and fucking over again. The feminine is leading. And she is fierce because she has to be. In the right relational container, where a man is upholding his part and taking it care of and tending to the house and home, the external environment, so that she is not feeling as much of the resistance energy that seeks to feed from her, hunt from her, violate her, and predate upon her, right? She will soften. She will open. And her own environment that she creates for herself, maybe that's in nature, maybe that's inside of her own body, her sacred temple, her energetic space, the way that she connects into the ether. There are safe places that she might create for herself, but I will tell you right now, that is not this current state of humanity and what this collective is. That's not her safe space to soften and submit. So you will see me in spaces with my clients and spaces with friends, people that can see me more than most and are there to like support me and love me as well. That's where you see my mother. You'll be like, oh my, she is a divine mother. I know. Because I live this every day. But what you'll see forward facing for me a lot of times is the fierce feminine, because that's actually my masculine protecting what is oh so divine. And that is necessary. So if you tell women that that thing isn't necessary, I'll tell you what right now, you're working for an agenda to keep her open, to keep her being fed upon. That is what is really happening. Period. So, relative to this softening, I could go deeper, but I'm just checking in with myself. Okay. So, relative to this softening, there's another post that I made. And I said, it's easy to soften when you don't challenge an old paradigm. It's easy to soften when you follow what's given instead of creating what isn't. I work with new paradigm creators. So when I was talking to you all about, okay, it's nice and smooth up here in the ether, it's like, oh, this is so easy. This is so possible, immediate. Shifts and change can happen. All of us that tap in multidimensionally know that exists. But this is where I differentiate myself in my work from the vast majority of people who are bringing through multidimensional wisdom, and love you, appreciate you and what you're bringing through. But let's not make me and you the same if what you're bringing through is in ether and what I am bringing through is ether down to ground and in my body and through my body and through my feet and rooted, because it's different. You don't have to go through digestion. You don't have to go through integration. You don't have to mature. You don't have to understand human relationships. You don't have to face all of the resistance. This is initiations. There's resistance energy. Every increment that you descend down, every one. I know this because I live it. I also know this because my role here on earth, a huge part of what I'm here for is to provide a safe sanctuary and anchoring place for high level, full soul body beings. A friend of mine, Tiffany, she's an amazing lover, Tiffany Box, she offered me the words in reflection of widening. I had my own language for it, but she's like, you didn't go up and out. I said, I know. I tell people that all the time. I went over. I went side to side. I remained grounded on earth while wild things were happening around me, so I could see it, but I could move a little bit out of my body so I didn't get hit in the same way. I went wide. Part of that is because I'm here to be a new earth anchor. I'm here to provide high level, high harmonic, pure hearted warrior, high alchemists, seers, new paradigm creators, a place where they can come in, and amongst all of this distortion, the field that I hold, it holds the high harmonic, it holds the true architecture. And I mean that. I lead in architecture. So I'm literally offering you that house, that home, that thing that I'm saying the true feminine needs. I offer that to just high level beings in general. Because many of you know what it is to see just even a little bit more, and all of a sudden warfare is at your door. Many of us understand the crucifixion lifetimes that we have faced because of what we are. I am that safe place. I am the safe base for you to land here. That's what I offer immensely. So in holding that home and that safe place, what happens is, I'm not saying you're not going to go out into the world and experience the resistance energy. You will. But I'm saying I'm going to give you the place where you can come in and you can be safe to fully unfurl and to open, have your wings wide, to be able to fully see. It'll allow your eyes to come online so much that it breaks through all of this conditioning, the gaslighting and the ancestral imprints, the patriarchal imprints. You will feel the space. You will feel the liberation. You will feel truth in your body. And because I'm offering you that space, you're going to be able to hold it and anchor it in a way that otherwise would be much more difficult, or maybe not even likely. Not to the degree that I'm talking about. So when I say the digestion piece, and I'm talking about anchoring truth and coding and like true restoration, divine level architecture, all these things, someone who just channels, it's an antenna. You're accessing the information. That doesn't mean you're living it. That doesn't mean that you're literally bringing that truth down through the fields of distortion. And at every single fucking turn, that resistance energy is trying to attack you. It's trying to make it so you don't exist. Because your existence is its collapse. That is what it is to be the true feminine here on earth. And I'm not saying that the true masculine doesn't face that, but it is different. You don't have a womb. There's a difference. So after I posted this, it's easy to soften when you don't challenge an old paradigm. It's easy to soften when you follow what's given instead of creating what isn't. Let's think about that relative to not the true feminine. Let's think about that relative to the wounded feminine, because she'll consent to that every single day. She's not bringing in the new thing. She's not facing that level of resistance that's coming at her, trying to take her down. She's not building the new thing. She's submitting to the old thing in order to feel like she's safe. And all simultaneously, while she is offering her divine womb energy, which she is responsible for, into a paradigm that harms her. So she's not safe. She's literally creating the conditions of her unsafety. While a woman like me is facing the distortion in such a fierce warrior-esque way in order for inevitably women to be safe here, really and truly. So a friend of mine had asked me to kind of define how I was using soften. And I'm not a big, like, this is exactly how I'm defining it. I'm going to go based on my channel and what information wants to come through. So what I responded with was, I'm pointing to the submit, soften, and open culture being pressed upon women, as this is what it is to be feminine, without any regard for what true feminine power actually is and does. And therefore the resistance energy, attacks, violence, hunting, and feeding that pursues her. We can make that about the woman, which patriarchy loves to do, displace responsibility onto women, or recognize the systemic issues and energetic pushback to truth in women birthing a new paradigm. As true feminine power grows, there are agendas to condition women into fawning through the idea of softening, to continue gaslighting her out of her transformational power, her transformational nature and true power. You see how it all connects? So that's what we're into today. If my post resonate with you, if this video resonates with you, make sure to share it. Make sure to share it. You know, like, let's get real wisdom into this world where the conditioning that's being projected as true teaching and wisdom doesn't get to have the large followings, and instead embodied wisdom does. Because I want to make the greatest ripple effects I possibly can, whether that be in one-on-one work with you, or in a group space, or my social media content, this video. So please support my mission by supporting my work. And again, if my content calls to you, then know that there are deeper spaces to go with me. One-on-one work is unbelievable. And The membership group that I have, the Integrative Evolutionary, is a truly contained new paradigm space, monthly immersives. I have hundreds of audio transmissions. I put out at least 10 a month. This is a space for those who are pioneers of consciousness. This is a space for pure form beings to be held and safe and validated. This is for the mystics and the new paradigm creators that are very rarely seen and much less met. The healers that heal but oftentimes don't have someone to support them. TIE, my work, it is the space for you. I literally left a path, a professional path in counseling so that I could be here to meet your unique needs because this gap needed to be filled. And I know how much you deserve that. So again, make sure to subscribe to my newsletter. Also, contact me if you're interested in any of the one-on-one work. Feel free to apply. There is a gatekeeping process for TIE. It is a truly resurrected temple space. And so you do have to submit an application. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to message me. Also, I have my links in my bio, or if you're catching this on YouTube, in the description below. As always, so much love to each and every one of you.